Hi everyone, so this video is going to briefly go over the outside of my playground, and I'm gonna try to give you some details about what goes where and why. Please hang tight as I play and pause the video and explain to you whatever we see on the screen. So right now, basically what we're looking at is the main entrance to the playground. There's going to be a few more shots of it, but basically the way the particular location was, there were two entrances, one off of Main Street and one from the parking lot, and decision was made to have the main entrance through the parking lot. So the main doors, they have right here, they have the logo, the hours of operation, the website address, and then a few other stickers. I'm honestly debating whether some of those stickers are necessary. For example, the Visa, MasterCard. Let me try to get it better. Yeah, right there. So I don't know if that's really necessary. It was already on there when I got there, so I just kept it. Another thing was right here, the security system. I also don't think that's necessary. I've watched a number of videos where basically certain people give their opinions on whether this helps or not. Some say it deters, some say it only helps the thief know what you have so they know how to beat it. Anyways, that's up to you whether you want it there or not. And then right below that is a sign that I'll show you in a little bit. So here we go. This was fun. Basically, the playground had to be closed, and that's when I was recording these videos due to the pandemic. So anyways, anytime there's some kind of notice, you could always put it on the front of the door, on the website, on Yelp, wherever you want people to see something. Now let me pause here. If you look right here, there's another logo and the name of the playground. It also covers up a window to a room that's inside. So there could have been other ways to utilize this particular window, but that's how it has been at this point. Also, these windows right here, they have been sort of tinted. That way you can't really see into the playground. I have considered whether it was worth it or not. On one hand, you want people from outside to look into the playground so they can see what's happening. Here specifically, there wasn't that much foot traffic, so I don't think the people from the outside needed to see in, or vice versa. I didn't need a view of the parking lot. The parking lot is not that beautiful to look at, so there's many other ways to utilize the windows. Also, as you can see, another sign for security cameras in use. Again, questionable whether that's necessary or not. That's up to you, or you should consult another security professional who can give you better insight on whether that's necessary or not. Probably this sign I think is better than the sign of the particular system that you have inside. That's just my opinion, but you can decide for yourself. So let's keep going. Let me pause here. If you look in the corner up there, that's where one of the cameras was, and basically from that point it saw everything from there through the main door and into the parking lot as well. I definitely recommend having multiple cameras outside. just to catch your entrance, your parking lot spaces, anything that could be happening. There will always be a need for it at one point or another. Maybe not often, but it's good to have it. And moving on, we have a little bit of a close-up on this sign. So as you can see, if you're a perfectionist, there's definitely some bubbling and a little bit of wrinkles here and there, and it could have been applied better by the vendor, but yeah. As far as up there in the corner, we have another sign. I think it's definitely good to have a lot of signs around your business. It's good to show people from every direction, from the parking lot, from the street, from every angle that, hey, your business is here. One of my regrets is not putting up a sign on one of those like signposts that's usually on a plaza. There was space for it. I never got around to it because it was just not a priority, but definitely a regret. I think it would have been worthwhile to have made that up there a while ago, from like the very beginning, basically. Now these particular signs, they come in various complexity. This one is on the lower end because it doesn't have any built-in lights or anything fancy. It's just basically styrofoam with like acrylic plastic glued to it, and the whole thing is glued to the building. It's not screwed in or anything. If you're on the sunny side of the property, then you will have more wear and tear of the wear and tear. Anyways, on the sunny side, you're gonna have more fading on the materials, on some materials. This particular side is not on the sunny side, but there's one around the corner, and that one faded a lot. In like a year's worth of time. Then let's keep going. So if you look right here, there's like a green little guy attached to the building. There's going to be a better view of it later, but basically that draws some attention from the street, from passersby, and it's good to have it there. Okay, here's another angle of the main entrance. Definitely, if you have a choice and budget, I think it's definitely worth improving your entrance, because that's like the main thing that people see. I think entrance is very important. It was on my to-do list and I didn't get around to it, but I had a lot of ideas. Maybe do posters around the main doorway, or do some kind of themed entrance, maybe 3D pop-up, but that would have been great. As you can see, right here just says 3 Cats Playground, whereas if we scroll back a bit, it's 3 Cats Kids Playground. It was just a play on variations of the name of the business. Eventually I started transitioning everything to 3 Cats Kids Playground. It started as just 3 Cats Playground, and for some reason most people were just super confused. They were coming in and they're asking, oh, are there cats here? Is this like a cat cafe? What's happening? So I had to make it a little bit more clear that it's a kids playground, and that was helpful. Not as helpful as I thought it would be, but it was still helpful. And over time, people eventually learned that it was a kids indoor playground, not a cat's playground. So anyways, yeah, there's a lot that you could do in the front, and I think it's very important to do as much as you can, as much as your budget permits, and as much as the landlord of the property permits. So let's see what else we got here. There's a better view of that. So this little green guy that's hanging on the building, I had another one that I would bring out every morning that would stay on the sidewalk next to the road, just kind of letting people know that, hey, kids are at play here. And at the same time, the colors were kind of bright enough where it was drawing people's attention to what was happening. If the main sign up top was not, then that little green guy was. There was some greenery, I guess, a couple of trees. Then there was a parking lot. There were some spaces assigned to the parking lot. And then let's see what else we got here. So here I have plenty of space in the front that I could utilize. So eventually I started playing with different signs and letters, and I figured, how do you let people know that it's not a cat's playground? So I kind of came up with kids at play, and very large letters, people can see it from the outside. And then also you had a poster with what this place does. So this is where the fading occurred. If you look at letter L, that was a replacement. At some point the glue just totally stopped holding the acrylic. It fell, I had to replace it. I had to replace the letter L, number 3, and one of those cat's pictures. So this fading between all of the letters and letter L occurred pretty much in 1 year period. Which is kind of crazy, and makes me think either the materials provided for this were like super cheap, or the sun is just that brutal on this. But I'm sure there's some kind of UV protectant film that could have been applied to it. So that's my recommendation. If you do put it on the sunny side, then you gotta put some extra UV protection. Also, right here. Let me change it to a drawing. So this thing, that fell off too. This was a blue line before. And yeah, I had to get that replaced eventually. Here's a close-up of the little green man. Large sidewalk. And here's a better view from across the street. This was just paint. The letters are just like basic paint, so you can easily scrape it off and replace it whenever you needed to. I did it myself. Made it kind of look like it was kids who drew it. You could actually ask kids to do it. I didn't think it was worth shelling out hundreds and hundreds of dollars for somebody who's a little bit more professional to do it, but again, it all depends on your budget. So yeah. Also, if you look up top, right here's an AC unit for the building. There were actually 2 of them for here. So depending on your agreement with the landlord, you can either be responsible for it yourself, or the landlord can take care of it. In my case, I had to maintain it, so filters and just general checkups. That was on my checkbook, unfortunately. But it wasn't too bad. Summertime was like really hot and the electric bill was kind of large, but wintertime I didn't run it at all, and it was nice. It was nice not to have that expense. It would be a little bit cold in the morning, so there would be gas heating for that. And otherwise, that was it. So here's the parking lot. This was a large lot. None of the spaces were assigned. However, I talked to the landlord and I said if the neighbors don't mind, then I'd like to have the closest 7 spots labeled as the playground spots. So I didn't do anything aside from just putting some paint on the ground and saying 3 cats, kids playground. I didn't put up any signs saying, you'll get towed or any of that threatening stuff, since I technically legally couldn't do that. And so this was sort of like a mini deterrent / mini reserved spot for the playground. Of course, a lot of people still park there who didn't go into the playground, but it still made more spaces available for like moms and kids and whatnot to park close to the playground, to the business. As you can see, this is a main street, 2 lanes running each way, and there's a lot of traffic. Majority of people who found out about this place were either just driving by or it was word of mouth. Then later on, I started including like Google Ads and Yelp and things like that. But the biggest thing was word of mouth and driving by. Let's see. Okay, and there's the corner. This is what I wanted to show you. So that arrow at the top, this arrow right here, that's where I got the permission to put the sign for the playground. But by the time I got the permission and I started calling around, and it was actually hard to find people who were willing to put that up. I don't know what was happening, but I think everybody had just too much business at first, and then later on, when the pandemic hit, I didn't feel like it was the time to deal with that anymore. So that stayed empty, unfortunately. But my recommendation to you is put your name everywhere you can right away because that's basically free advertising. It's on the corner of 2 major streets, and so you can hit traffic in both directions on both streets 24/7. So that really should have been done. Yeah. So that's about it for this video. I'm gonna go into more details about other things, but I have more outdoor video stuff that I'm gonna show you in a little bit.